Miss Pam SD. Tryna work out and look good, yes please, no slack. In the category of body, you know we ain't lacking. We came this far, we ain't backing down. Cooler than a ceiling fan. Gotta go to reach, we sticking to the plan. Hitting spirit in the hand, tryna make a couple bands. Top tier, subscribe and maybe give it a chance, yeah.
Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my page and my daily dose video series. It is moi, Miss Pam SD, and I am here today. Today's daily dose is going to be another part of the series of how to start a spirits company. So I'm really excited about this. I hope you guys checked out the last video. If not, make sure you look at the show notes to this video and go back to that video, because that is video 1. This is video 2, and I actually put some notes down here in my manifestation journal. Y'all know I love my B. Simone manifestation journal. So if you are in the process of trying to manifest the creation of a spirits company, then hopefully these videos can help you out with that. I decided to do this series just to give you a little bit of background, because a couple of people have been reaching out to me more so lately, kind of asking questions. So I wanted to share the knowledge that I've been able to gain over the last, I think it's been like 5 years now officially. Since I started my company, about 4 years since we actually hit the market back in 2016. So hopefully this information helps you guys out. I got on my Hidden Spirits t-shirt today, so you know I'm doing a little brand awareness. And then I also make sure, if you want to learn more about starting a spirits company, you check out my Cocktail Millionaires website. It's actually a private portal for my investors. However, there is some free content on there. We have some t-shirts on there for entrepreneurs and small business owners, bartenders, brand ambassadors, cocktail curators. And then there's also links to the Cocktail Millionaires podcast, which kind of tracks the journey of Hidden Spirits. So lots of really good free content out there if you are looking to get into this industry or just interested in learning about the industry as well. So for today, I want to start with a little bit of recap of what I covered in video 1, just so that this makes sense sequentially. But to get the real details, you honestly have to go back and view that video. And I'm trying to keep all of these short, like anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes, so that you can kind of take this in chunks and pieces. So the goal is to cover like 1 to 2 steps each video. So in the first video, just to do a recap, I took some notes here, y'all, so I ain't forget. Step 1 and 2. Step 1, what type of spirits company do you want to start? There's several options out there: beer, wine, cordials, liqueurs, similar to Hidden Spirits, low proof, high proof, yada, yada, yada. You have to know that. Step 2, how do you want to produce your product, right? So do you want to brand label it, import it? Do you want to manufacture it? Do you want to brew yourself? Do you want to be the creative R&D part of it, or do you want to do the full out manufacturing? Similar to Hidden Spirits, we manufacture all of our products right here in the US, and very proud of that. But several of my peers in the space import products that are just as amazing, where they've had some sort of creative control in the recipe and things like that. So check out video 1, but all of those are very important first 2 steps, especially because they are things that you need to know to determine exactly what type of license you need to get, right? So now I am going to go into step 3. Again, if you want to know more about steps 1 and 2, make sure you go check out video 1. The other thing I'm going to note, guys, I'm doing this off the dome. Like, I got like the topics that I want to cover here and kind of like the sequential order, just so I don't be all over the place and to keep me organized. But the other thing I hope you can appreciate about these videos is it's super authentic, like just from my experience, and I'm doing it off the dome and how I feel today. All of these videos, I might I won't have necessarily good hair and makeup done, so I might look crazy in a couple of these videos. But today I had a bunch of Zoom meetings, so y'all get this good light, and this good beat today. So yeah. So with that, step 3, and this is something I had to learn the hard way. Learn the stats about the product that you are trying to produce. So once you know what you want to create, and once you know how you want to create it, the other thing that's very important is you're going to want to learn what I'm going to refer to as the stats about the product. And it really is important in terms of when you get to the step further down the line that we will cover in terms of your formulation. But when I say stats, it's as simple as knowing what proof you want your alcohol to be. And that's like the potency, and knowing your percent alcohol by volume. Now, when I got into this business, I had created a recipe and it just tastes good. And so when I called the state of Ohio, and they were asking me all of these questions, she was like, what proof is your alcohol? I was like, I don't know, it got tequila in it. And I know tequila is 80 proof. But because we were doing a cocktail mixture, we actually dilute the full recipe actually dilutes the base. And so it ended up proofing our spirits down into being 19% alcohol by volume. And, oh, sorry y'all, bug. And, oh my goodness, when I had to try to figure out how to figure out the proof of my alcohol, it took me forever. Like during that call, I didn't know anything. I did 1,000,003 Google searches. I found a calculator, and I found a calculator online, and I played around with that. And then after that, I turned out and I bought they have this special kind of thermometer. I forget the name of it, but I'll try to remember to put it in the show notes. If not, y'all can send me a message or a DM and I can actually look it up. But it's a special kind of thermometer that you can actually put in the alcohol, and it will measure your alcohol content. I told you I'm doing this off the dome. So yeah, send me a note if you want to know the name of this equipment. But I ended up searching. Then I had to figure out how to use the damn thing. It was a mess. But that was when I created my first recipe. Second recipe got easier. Third recipe got even easier. So in terms of hidden spirits, just to give you like a real live example, like we have 2 tequila based products that are both 19% alcohol and 38 proof. You're also going to want to make sure, as you know your stats, you know all of your ingredient content. So you know, like what type of ingredients are you putting into your spirits? Are you using all natural ingredients? Are you using things that have artificial flavors or colors? And all of that is important. That comes into play again in another section we'll cover in the future that is called your COLA, and how you label your product to make sure that it is consumer ready. So knowing this stuff up front is very important, and that's why I put it as step 3, because I did not know. And so I was out here bootlegging, slanging liquor, and had no idea like what I was giving people, right? So I learned kind of the hard way, but was able to go back and figure this out for our products. And it's a good thing to know too in terms of when you get to branding and marketing, like, because right now we market our products, you know, 100% natural, gluten-free, vegan, all of that kind of stuff. So knowing this stuff earlier in the process will not only help you with the licensing part of it, but it will also help you in terms of like being able to market your spirits and some of the value that people can get to it, because you know everybody is like conscious about all of that kind of stuff right now. So that is step 3. Learn your stats about your product. Step 4, last step for this particular video, as I mentioned, I'm trying to give it to y'all in chunks, is look into a competitive benchmark. Now, I know this seems like pretty straightforward, regardless of if you're trying to start a spirits business or another kind of business, but the reason this step is so important. And again, I kind of did it by happenstance, not like intentional. And God knows I ain't do it in this order, because if I had, it wouldn't have took me 16 months to get my liquor license. I probably could have cut that time down by like a third, or like by half. So look at your competitors. And the reason being is because, number one, it's going to give you so much insight into the business that you're trying to get into, in terms of who's already in the space, how the space is growing, how much market dilution you have, how much market penetration, your ability to grow the business. So those are all like the what I'll say, the obvious benefits of doing a competitive sort of analysis. And this doesn't have to be like a super deep one. And I give y'all a hack at the end of every video, so I'm gonna give you a hack at the end of this one to help you with this step too. But also, the biggest benefit that I've learned over the years is when you do that competitive analysis, this gives you an opportunity to reach out to those companies in terms of benchmarking. So before you have a product on the market, before you have a name, before you have a brand, before you have anything, if you can go do a brewery tour, I can never say that word, brewery tour. I have the hardest time saying that word with the B's, y'all. But if you can go do a tour their manufacturing space, believe it or not, people in the spirits industry are extremely friendly and helpful. It's one of those markets where it's so saturated and there's so many brands. There's big brands, there's smaller brands, there's homebrew brands, but it's just not straightforward. And so information sharing, we do a lot of that in the industry, and it's probably contrary to like popular belief, because most people think that, like, oh, when you're starting a business, you want to covet all the information and you don't want to share. But I haven't found that. Like, since I've been in the industry, everybody's been super great. As a matter of fact, when I was still in a mason jar, I had looked up some local spirits companies here, and not a direct competitor, but had actually reached out to Cleveland Whiskey, and their vice president of marketing and branding, as well as the CEO and creator of that brand, actually started like mentoring me unofficially and helping me out with just like questions that I had. And I can still reach out to them today. They've been in business a lot longer than we have, probably about double the time, maybe like 8 to 10 years. But I had saw the product on shelves. They had great branding. They've raised capital. They have an amazing manufacturing facility in downtown Cleveland. And I mean, I went in one morning at 9 a.m. and they were pouring me shots of whiskey. So the industry is just really friendly. As I've toured different states, I'll go in, I'll tell them I own a spirits company and a spirits brand, and they will give me a tour of their entire manufacturing. We'll exchange bottles, we'll talk recipes. Like, people are very helpful in this industry. So even before you have your name and your brand, do some due diligence, because that's going to help you learn about the industry. Right now we're in the middle of COVID. I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but so the world is kind of shut down. But when the world opens back up, I would not only recommend that you reach out to them via email, phone call, whatever, but I would also recommend like you visiting and touring some of the different facilities. You will learn so much just in benchmarking your competitors. And on top of the people in the competitive space, you should also benchmark just other people in the space completely. So, okay, y'all, sorry, I had a small interruption. People won't let me be great with these videos, so we just gonna have to push these two together. But yeah, so what I was saying, not only look at your competitors and try to get access and tour their facilities so you can learn, and you can be like authentic and just tell them, hey, I'm interested in starting a spirits brand. We are so, and when I say we, I mean the people in this industry, we are so like open, right? There's so many brands in the market. Like, it's honestly, you're competing, but you're not really competing. Like, it's kind of like makeup, right? Like, this is my little makeup bag, and I probably got like 15 brands in here. You know, I mean, I got Rihanna, I got B. Simone, I got MAC, I got Sephora. Like, the spirits industry is very similar to that in terms of there's so many brands, and like, if I'm in a mood for a beer, I want this. If I'm in a mood for a ready to serve cocktail, I want this. If I want something stronger, I want that. And so it's so many options out there, and people's palettes are so diverse that really, even when you compete in this space, like, the competition, there isn't just this big like, ooh, let's covet all the secrets, right? There's trade secrets across brand, right? Our formulation is a trade secret, but there's also freedom to be able to share information in terms of process, vendors, things like that. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to be authentic, and just let them know what you're trying to do. And you'll be surprised at how open people in the industry are. And you can always reach out to me. You can always come view one of our manufacturing facilities if you just want to kind of see how things are done. Like, we love giving tours. And if you notice, if you go to a lot of places where they brew beer, they do a lot of tours, right? You know, I didn't say the word brewery again because, well, I can't say that word, y'all. But yeah, they do a lot of tours because people are so proud, like, of what they have accomplished in this industry too. So I think that's another element that makes us kind of an open book. So I don't want to make this video too long. In terms of the hack that I wanted to share with you guys, what was my hack? I had it. With the competitive part and coming up with your list of competitors, the hack, and I think I already said this, but I'm going to say it again and kind of call it out. The hack is to also look at not just competitors in your space, but look at other people in the space as well. So for instance, like, if you are interested in starting a beer company, right? Go to Anheuser-Busch. They are in I think Milwaukee, and they actually do tours because I have done one before. Oh my goodness, it's so fascinating, like, especially if you're an operations and supply chain nerd like me. But anywho, you can do a tour, you can talk to some of the engineers. They are way farther in the process. But also, if you're interested in doing a beer, right, you can come talk to a company like Hidden Spirits, right? And even though we're not in the beer space, there's a lot of synergies in the spirits world in terms of manufacturing equipment, bottling, canning. We've actually looked into canning, all of that sort of stuff. So you can get ideas from other people across the industry, even if they're not in the direct competitive industry that you're trying to be in. So that's the hack. Do the competitive analysis, but then also when you get into the phase where you're starting to benchmark, look outside of the direct industry that you're trying to be in. All right, so that is it for today. We are up to 4 steps, so I'm super psyched about this series that I'm doing and this daily dose. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully these get posted pretty quickly, so you can, get used to seeing the alerts on them. But tomorrow we are going to go into steps 5 and 6. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me at Pam Davis at hiddenspiritscocktails.com. You can DM me at Miss Pam SD. You can email me at hiddenspirits@gmail.com. You can email my team at cocktailmillionaires@gmail.com. Like, I'm trying to give all the free content, y'all, so make sure you check out all of our stuff. And I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.